Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. Once again. So I just like to say really quickly that, well, for the most part, I'd say things are going down pretty good. I can't really say much that I will be going back to the original location I usually go for HJN content, or for most content of my channel as a whole, but I guess I'll let you know down the line if anything does happen to which that I can still do stuff like this. But let's go ahead and get back onto the notepad because, well, there's a lot of subjects on this thing. Dozens of them to count. I'm reading a lot on here. There's Sage, Pogs, Pogs, Flagships, Acidity, and even a couple more celebrities that I'll talk about later, like Chevy Chase and Elton John. But this is number 542. And many of the other subjects that I just mentioned, of course I'll be talking about them in the next couple of weeks. But for today, Syringes is what's on the line. So, yeah, thank you very much. So, anyways, syringes are in fact the very thing that you can't have in needles or turkey basters or all that good stuff. If you basically need some sort of portable reservoir, then syringes, of course, would be a way to go. So, of course, when it comes to needles, the syringe is basically what holds the tiny amount of virus that you probably will need in your system at some point, so the immune system can combat and fight them off. Of course, the production of antibodies in my system is a much different story compared to the majority of human beings that we currently have in today's civilization. Of course, even without vaccines, by experience, it apparently seems to be that my own body is able to combat and fight against hundreds of different diseases. And as a matter of fact, in the ways that I've donated my own blood as a way for some paperwork to come back, I was able to find out that aside from the fact that my cholesterol levels, calcium levels, sodium, magnesium, and other levels in the blood, they are all pretty much equal, just the way they should be. They shouldn't be too high or too low, because otherwise I could suffer from certain things out there, like coronary artery disease, hypertension, or maybe some sort of other disease that's associated with poor blood health. But aside from that, I'd say perfect equalization of my blood as a whole is probably a perfect thing for it. But because of how much oxygen seems to be absorbed into the cells, then, well, I don't know if you've seen it before, but there's been pictures of me where my own blood had come out of my body based on different wounds and the like that I have taken on, but apparently because of how much oxygen I was able to take in, my blood has become very bright in color. So bright that it actually appears in some sort of pinkish orange hue. Yeah, no joke. It's pinkish and orange in most cases, but for the most part it can appear to be very bright red, mostly because of how much oxygen I seem to breathe in every day. So, of course, this might not have too much to do with syringes, but of course, there have been syringes full of blood that I have given away, mostly to get some paperwork on how my health is doing overall. And aside from those types of syringes, there of course are the syringes where you will in fact need vaccinations to protect yourself against most diseases. Of course, because of the many vaccines that I've taken over the course of my lifetime, I have never had a case of measles, mumps, syphilis, chickenpox, hepatitis, meningitis, and hundreds of different other diseases. I've never had a case of any of those things throughout my childhood, and even here during my more recent years in life, which is an especially good sign. It just means that I'm now forever immune to any of these things in my whole entire body. And I tell you, the power of vaccinations is just true. Too true, as a matter of fact. So true it's overwhelming, but you know what? I'd say it's all worth my time here. So, Other than that, syringes, of course, they can be okay for handling a certain amount of a certain item at once. There's been times where liquids have been held inside of it. There's been times where I've seen cake frosting held inside little syringes and the like, and also really big syringes for handling some other materials and the like. So, of course, that's pretty much it for today's episode and today's topic as a whole. But if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.